Good morning from beautiful San Diego. Here it is, January, what is it? January 28th, and we're going to have 80 degrees today. So, a commentator on the radio yesterday morning was lamenting that we've already had several, and I can't remember the exact number of school shootings this year, and that is a total disgrace that I'm not aware of how many. I'll bet you're not aware of how many. That is an enormous disgrace. So I've been listening to a book called The Sociopath Next Door, wherein the author makes the claim, and apparently it's backed up, that 4% of the population are sociopaths. That's one person in 25 is a sociopath, a person who has absolutely no internal wiring for a conscience. They don't have one. They don't have a connection to you as a human being. They do not have a conscience. That means that one person in 25, which is about one kid per classroom, has absolutely no conscience. They were born that way. The brain is structured that way. You can read it on an fMRI. They're different from yours. If you have a conscience, you can't even imagine a mind structured without one. I don't think they can imagine your mind structured the way it is, but they are, a lot of them, quite intelligent and know how to manipulate your silly little conscience. So that's a huge problem in the paradoxical tensions of our culture. We have a lot of things pulling against each other that we're trying to make them all work in a culture. So one thing is that we celebrate violence as a way to get what we want. We are here today, and we have what we have today because our ancestors got here by violence, and they got what they got through violence. We took it. As I think as Daniel Inouye said about the Panama Canal, we stole it fair and square. Next, we have a right to be armed, constitutional right. And because of that, many of us feel the need to arm ourselves in defense. Next, our notions of personal liberty do not allow restricting the liberty of people that do not have consciences. We don't allow the restricting of those people until they shoot somebody. We are all entitled to one free bite. That's the way it used to be. Well, that's the law of dangerous dogs. Your dog gets one free bite before they do anything. Even though people can predict that dog's going to bite somebody, well, can't do anything until he actually does. Everybody gets one free bite. And all of us are entitled to one free bite. Even it can be strongly predicted we're going to bite. And we're all entitled to one free shot until we do shoot. Even it can be strongly predicted that we probably will shoot. So the next part of the tension in our culture is that we have a very old cultural norm that children are the property of their parents. Now, that's very old, and we're making some changes in it, and you as a young person probably find that a very offensive notion, but you're only looking at the tip of this iceberg of cultural norms that children are the property of their parents. So the remains of that cultural norm are still here, and we leave parents to privately inflict whatever violence they want to do on their children until we have solid evidence. Parents get one free torture until you catch them at it, even if you could predict that they're likely to. So next, all of this produces a culture in schools of bullying, physical bullying or social bullying. So now you stir all those factors together vigorously inside a school and then inside the minds of each sociopath in each classroom. And what would you predict is going to be the outcome? One kid in 25 is a sociopath, having no conscience whatsoever. a mental reality you cannot even imagine. There might be value in trying to imagine how much you can impact the stormy mixture of violence, guns, and worship of liberty, how much you can impact that with warm, fuzzy programs to reduce bullying, and how much you can impact it with background checks. Nah. We're trying to stop the people who've had their free bite. We're not very successful. But there's a hell of a lot of people out there ain't taken their free bite yet, and they are disposed to do it. But hey, good morning and have a happy day.